Hi there guys, I hope you are having a good day. Now Dillian Whyte has explained he's going to be a little bit more wary of Alexander Povetkin going into their rematch. Obviously, it has now been officially announced, March 6th for this rematch, and that WBC Interim World Championship will be on the line for this fight. Now, what Dillian Whyte explained is that Alexander Povetkin was playing this nice guy act, almost similar to what Andy Ruiz did against Anthony Joshua, and he explained that that kind of took away a little bit of spite with regards to how he approached the fight, which is quite strange considering Dillian Whyte is someone who does really like to get stuck in. So considering he was maybe being a little bit sympathetic in there, I mean, I don't know if that is the message he is trying to convey, but still, that certainly seems like it considering what he said. So was this nice guy act the reason why he was so reluctant to let his hands go after the knockdowns? Because he could have gone after Alexander Povetkin, but he was being smart. So I don't think it's necessarily just that. I think it's a combination of different things, maybe being a bit wary, considering the kind of opponent that he's in there with, and also considering Alexander Povetkin is extremely dangerous when he's hurt, and we've seen how dangerous he is when he's hurt, even in that Dillian Whyte fight, because he was hurt, he was down, he got up and he knocked Dillian Whyte out. So considering that, yes, Povetkin is very dangerous in that kind of situation. Perhaps what Dillian Whyte is trying to convey with what he was saying is you have to show Alexander Povetkin the respect he deserves, otherwise it weakens you. And I think that is something he's going to be thinking about going into the rematch. Now, considering what happened in the first one, does he need to do something similar, then change subtle things to make him better? Well, what Dillian Whyte also said in that interview is that he's going to go for maximum violence once again. He's going to go in there and look for the knockout. He does seem like someone who just wants to get back in there because obviously this was something that happened to him in August and he wanted it to do the rematch in November. And the reason why he wanted to do that is because he wanted revenge over Alexander Povetkin, because that was his second loss in his career, but it came at an extremely vital time in the career of Dillian Whyte. Had he won that fight, he would now be mandatory to Tyson Fury. So there would be no talk of Tyson Fury versus Anthony Joshua. He would have to face Dillian Whyte. So considering that, Dillian Whyte was in a crucial point of his career. He needed to win that fight, but he stumbled, and that is the reason why he wants to get back in there so eagerly. That is why the fight was made for November. He could not wait any longer. Now I believe that the fact that the fight didn't happen in November could be a blessing in disguise. I think that was probably too soon after the loss in August. I mean, even December was pretty soon. January 30 was a better date, but again, that was pushed back. I mean, I don't think that was even agreed, but that was a date they were looking at, but Povetkin was not going to be ready. So this is all fueling Dillian Whyte. He's going to be better prepared for Alexander Povetkin next time. I think that he was prepared well enough last time, but this time around, things need to be different. He cannot do the same things because, yes, he was in control. Yes, he got 2 knockdowns, but he still lost the fight. So you cannot necessarily go back in there thinking, okay, if we just change a few things here and there, then he can win. That's not necessarily the way it works. He needs to do something completely different. He needs to find a game plan that works to his strengths. And the thing is, Alexander Povetkin, as he knows now, is always dangerous until it's done. Until the fight's finished, Alexander Povetkin is a live opponent. He's shown that in the previous fight with Dillian Whyte. He's shown that in even the Michael Hunter fight in Saudi Arabia. Now, what I believe Dillian Whyte needs to do is get his jab going. Dillian Whyte's got a brilliant jab. I mean, it's not necessarily the neatest of jabs. It doesn't necessarily come straight and he brings his hand straight back to guard himself because he does often draw it back a bit and leave himself open. But still, his arms are so long and that jab is so sharp that he doesn't necessarily get countered off of it. And, I mean, to counteract that, he needs to pull his hand back quicker or just a step to the side, so use angles. But if he's doing that, he can set things up off of the jab, whereas last time he wanted to be fighting a little bit closer, and those catch counters that he was doing, catching shots and then throwing them straight back, that was brilliant from Dillian Whyte, but still, look at the way the fight went. So he needs to keep Alexander Povetkin behind that jab, back him up behind the jab, push him back, use the jab and everything comes off of that. That is what Dillian Whyte needs to do. Use that jab, keep it pumping, keep it moving, double up, come around to the side, then everything comes off of that jab. And not just starting, you should always start and finish with the jab, especially in there with an opponent like Alexander Povetkin, because what that does is Dillian Whyte has the physical advantages over Povetkin. He has the better reach, probably the better jab as well. So what he can do is create distance with that jab, so that he is the only one who's in range of landing punches. Then when he's done, he can jab again, which maintains the distance between him and his opponent, because you can guarantee that Povetkin is going to be looking for that uppercut because he knows that Dillian Whyte is open to it. So that is something that Dillian Whyte needs to tighten up on, but it's not just about tightening up and making sure he knows when it's going to be coming and catching that shot or deflecting it. It's not about that. It's about the way he was fighting. He was allowing Povetkin to get close. In fact, he wanted to be fighting up close. He wanted to be throwing those short shots. And yes, it did drop Alexander Povetkin, but each and every time he got up. And I think that what Povetkin done was warm into the fight. He warmed into the pace, and Povetkin was able to find that punch. Dillian Whyte squared up too much, and Povetkin was in a brilliant position to land that punch. And it was only a position that Povetkin got himself into. It was by no means a lucky punch. So, considering that, it wasn't necessarily about a mistake that Dillian Whyte made, because if he made it before, he might make it again. The best thing that he can do is change his approach. Dillian Whyte can fight a different way. He can do it. We've seen him do it before. He has a brilliant jab, as I said, and that could be his key to victory. That could be his best weapon in there with Povetkin, because he can start and finish with it and maintain that distance to ensure also that he doesn't square up. So double the jab, feint a bit as well. Throw to the body as well, jab to the body, because Dillian Whyte has got a great jab, he can vary it. So considering that, he can approach this fight completely different to what he done last time. I think that the mindset of what happened last time was he was in control then got caught. That's the wrong way to look at it, and it is all mental in this game. It's a chess match after all. So considering that, he does need to approach it in a different way. If he does so, I believe he can get the victory over Alexander Povetkin. If he does the same thing as last time, then I believe he's gambling a little bit more than he needs to. Because no matter what we might say about the first fight, Dillian Whyte still lost it, so that requires a different game plan and a different mindset going into the second fight. And if he does win this, he's back on track to a world title opportunity. And in fact, it's been spoken about that he could face Deontay Wilder this year also. So an incredible 2021 ahead for Dillian Whyte. It's just Alexander Povetkin at the moment though. That is the main focus for him. If he does not beat Povetkin, then where does he go from there? So this is a big fight. The pressure is on. But I think that it does require a different mindset, a different game plan to what happened last time. Because clearly what happened last time did not work. Whether he was in control, whether he was winning the fight, it doesn't matter. It did not work. And the same thing could happen the second time around, considering how smart and how clever and just how Povetkin always finds a way to grind out the result, especially in fights where you think he's down and out. So ultimately, Dillian Whyte needs to approach it completely different to what he did last time, and I believe he will in this rematch with Alexander Povetkin on March 6th. But guys, anyway, what are your thoughts on this? Make sure you leave your thoughts in the comments below, leave a thumbs up, and subscribe if you are new. Thanks guys.